Good evening.
Good evening,
Hello,
my
hello,
friend. How
Mr.
are you
Eric
today?
Gilbert. Outstanding. How about yourself?
I am great. It is the middle of the week already. It's hard to believe. It's funny. I was talking to my son this morning, and he was saying how slow the week was going. I go, "Are you kidding me? It is already Wednesday. The week is going fast." And it's funny for young people, time seems to drag on, and there's an infinite amount of time left. When you start to get a little older, what do you see? You see the time just fly by all the time.
You're right about that, Eric. I remember being a young kid back in my country, how the days used to feel so long. And then, as you start to grow older and you come here to, another land where they change the time periodically, to me, for some reason, things felt a little faster. And as you start to grow older, obviously, and you got goals, and then you start to get to know life a little bit better and what it takes to do something to, help communities, time flies, blink of an eye.
It does. And that's, all the more reason why we have to make the most of our time. And the one thing that we can't make more of is time. You can always go back and make more money. You can, rebuy things. You can do all sorts of things. You just can't get your time back. But you know what? The other thing that's also important to realize is that we actually have to buy our own time. You know, our time, it's very true that time is money, but in fact, it's more important than money because you can't make more time, but you can buy your time back. And one of the lessons that I've learned, before we get into, what we came to talk about tonight, one of the things that I learned fairly recently, and I wish that I had learned this earlier in my life, and that's the concept that there's three types of income. Okay. Doesn't matter what career, what profession, whatever. Everybody has three types of money. There's the active income. That's us trading hours for dollars. And whether you're a commissioned salesperson, whether you're an hourly employee, or whether you're on a salary. There's only 24 hours in the day, and there's only so much time in the day that you can work, and you're automatically limited to what you can make. Number one. Number two is, like I said, trading hours for dollars. So when you're not there, the income stops. But that's where everybody starts, whether you graduate high school, college, or never graduate. When you go into the workforce, right, you start trading hours for dollars and, hopefully working your way up the ladder to a higher and higher pay scale. But ultimately, there's a limit. So whether you make $5 an hour, $500 an hour, as long as you're trading hours for dollars, the minute that you stop, you don't have anything. So that's why you have to look at the other types of income. There's the semi-active income, right? Which means it's still I have effort. Let's say that I start a real estate office and I become the broker, and then I hire a bunch of salespeople. And those salespeople go out and sell real estate, and I get a piece of their action, right? It's not 100% my effort, but again, now I have leverage. And that's what we're starting to see is getting leverage. And whether it's an insurance agency, a real estate agency, a network marketing group, it really doesn't matter. When you build a team, you know, J. Paul Getty was famous for saying that I would rather have 1% of the effort of 100 people than to have 100% of myself, just one. And I'll tell you that the more that I thought about that, the more important I saw that it became. But you see, semi-active income is only the transition to where you really want to go, and that's passive income. So three types of income: active, semi-active, and passive. Now, passive income is the income that comes in whether you get up and go to work or not, whether you're traveling around the world or not, whether you're spending more time with your family or not. This is where people, in order to be financially free, okay, that's when you buy your time back because you're not neither actively or semi-actively giving your time away in exchange for some dollar amount. And ultimately, the definition of financial independence is right there. And
Yep.
ultimately, that's how you buy your time back. And you now are the 100% owner of your time. It was very interesting, Fernando. And then we can put the first slide up there.
Sure.
First of all,
Excellent.
say that again.
I said, excellent. Let's bring it right back up here. I thought I had it
Yeah,
up. Yeah, go ahead.
because I know we have some new faces, we have some returning faces, we have some people who've never heard about what we're talking about, and others who are starting to see the groundswell of what's going on in our country and what's going on with the company that we're going to talk about today. But I'll tell you that there are three major shifts going on. One is an economic shift, and we're seeing that everywhere. Interest rates are higher than than they've been in a long time. Inflation is higher than it's been in a long time, and it's hard to control the government. Some of the smartest minds in America still can't tame that. We have all sorts of shifts going on from one generation to another. So it's a very restless economy out there, but at the same time, there are rules to the money game. The
There
truth
sure are.
is, most people don't know the rules of the money
Mhm.
game. And if you don't know the rules of a game, any game, it's difficult to win at that game. And that's why 80% of Americans retire financially dependent instead of independent, like what we just talked about.
Yep. I totally
So,
agree. And we'll see what we're doing tonight basically is, Eric, since I've known you, it's been what, probably about 8 years or more than that. I mean, time has
mhm.
flied, but I remember when you invited me to your real estate show back in the day, and learning from you and your experience in regards to how diversified you are when it comes to your knowledge or expertise, what you bring to the table, and what you're currently doing, educating communities. I'm always up and running early in the morning, and the first thing I see is I go to Facebook and I see you presenting the information from the real estate show. So tonight we're definitely going to have a great ride, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Eric Wilner basically has real estate experience, business experience. He knows the money game. And as a matter of fact, if you want to learn more from him, this Saturday, he's going to be reading for us the cash flow quadrant. Eric, thank you so much for allowing me to partner up with you tonight and present this valuable information to everyone that is here. And if you're here for the first time, sit down. You're going to be sitting down in the edge of your seat, take notes, have your pad ready, your pen ready, because what you're about to hear will definitely is going to put you in a position where 2026 is just around the corner. Is going to put you in the right path for prosperity. Eric,
Yeah, this is
back to you,
a
my friend.
particularly good time, Fernando. You're absolutely right. This is a particularly important time to be reflecting on how 2025 was, and then turning that reflection into projection. What are you going to do in 2026? It seemed like only yesterday, November and December of last year, and one of the questions that I was frequently asking clients and students and partners, it says, how was your 2024? And I got a recurring answer that really made me stop in my tracks. And that was, people say, well, 2024 was another 2023. It was the same thing, different number, and, and,
Mm.
and that's to keep it clean.
It,
But
it,
I
it
started
sounds like
asking people, yeah, go ahead.
it. It sounds like what is the saying? The saying that goes, if you continue to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, that is called insanity.
Exactly. Exactly. And yet most people live a life of routine insanity, right? Going to
Mhm.
work, coming home exhausted, making dinner, spending a few minutes with the family, which they say is the most important thing, and then repeating that sequence all over again. And so I made it a commitment. And I said, and I even have a little slogan. I says, 2025 is the year to thrive. And I kept saying that from December of last year, and I brought it up every single month. What is different this year? What did you do? And again, you can't expect a different outcome if you do the same things over and over. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and and consciously live life, not subconsciously. So that brings us to our topic tonight, and also just to lay a little bit of the groundwork. You mentioned the radio show. Fernando on the other side of the mic is a veteran serial entrepreneur, many years in business, starting from the trades into his own business, and today, helping to teach others more about the laws of finance, the rules of business, and basically how to change your life and end up in control of your life instead of letting somebody else dictate and control. And along comes a company called MWR Financial. And you and I stumbled across this company almost by accident. All right. We had been exposed to some things, started looking around, and up pops this pleasant surprise. And I remember when we first learned about it, MWR was talking about the four major roadblocks, right? And it said that if you want to learn the rules of money, it's as easy as 4, 3, 2, 1. All you have to know, okay, it's very simple. We can make this very simple, is that there are four roadblocks that prevent most people from retiring financially independent. Those four roadblocks are taxes, debt, interest, and finance charges, right? Then there's our monthly expenses, and then there is the silent killer, inflation. And today it's not so silent anymore.
Exactly.
And when I saw how crystal clear this company had and the goal that it had of helping people to address their current lifestyle as well as the future legacy, it was the first company that really connected the dots and brought it to a point where everyone has an equal opportunity, a level playing field. And in a minute, you're going to find out how that happened. But what's interesting, and not only did you and I intersect, but the principles of this company. For a long time, I've been saying on the radio that I have three basic beliefs. Number one is that I believe that everyone should own a home. And there's lots of reasons. They're not just financial, although homeowners have a 40 times greater net worth at retirement than a renter does.
Mm.
Homeowners have fewer divorces, less teenage pregnancy, less drug abuse. There's all sorts of reasons, stability, pride of ownership, not to mention the tax benefits and the appreciation over time. So it is deeply ingrained. I bleed the belief that everyone should own their home. And unfortunately, about 40% of Americans still rent today in the
Wow.
wealthiest country. And I'm here to tell you, and so is MWR here to tell you that if you can afford to pay rent, you can afford to own a home. The second big belief that I have is that you should have your financial house in order. In other words, you must have a written plan. Okay. You can't keep this in your head. The world is so full of distractions bombarding you every second, to try to pull you in their own direction, that if you don't have your own written plan that you refer to over and over again, you'll never hit your goals. And number three is that you need to have multiple streams of income. We were just talking about that there's three types of income. And the
Right.
goal is to go from, 100% active income to at least 100% passive income. And you can still have all those things. I talk about being able to knock this out in 5 years. Imagine a new world where you could have a career, you work and put in some good effort for the first 5 years, and then you can live abundantly for the rest of your life. And tonight we're going to show you, give you a little bit of a peek at what's possible with a company called MWR. And so let's go to the next slide here, because what we're going to talk about is a company in a category of one, a company where it's the only company that I've seen where they connect lifestyle and legacy. And so,
Eric, give me
with that
just
being
one
said,
second.
yeah, that's
I think
okay.
that, yeah,
While
okay.
you're adjusting the slides, and that's the fun part about technology. I just want to share that our mission. Okay. And I should, when I say R now, I'm talking on behalf of MWR, the Lifestyle and Legacy Company, is to create more financially independent families than any other company in history. Now, how are they going to do that? There you go. By helping people make more money without working harder for it. And remember the old saying, it's not just what you make, it's what you keep. And then it's not just what you keep, it's how you invest that money. Because nobody saves their way to retirement, they invest their way to retirement. And that's why this company has cracked the code. At MWR, as you can see, we've created a very simple, and I'm a big fan of simple, a simple and safe approach, a proven way to fast track your financial independence in months or years, not decades. You know, the
Mhm.
40-40-40 trap has become the 50-50-40 trap. You
Yeah.
know, it used to be that you would go to work for 40 hours
Mhm.
a week for 40 years of your life and retire on about 40% of your, you know, your highest pay, that pay that you couldn't make it on when you were getting the highest pay.
Mhm.
Today, most people are retiring on 40% of what Social Security can pay. And the maximum Social Security, you know, do the math, the maximum Social Security pays is $4,000 a month if you paid the maximum for a long enough time. Yet most people, the average, and Social Security publishes this every year, the average Social Security check is about $1,600. So
Mhm.
what's the code that we're talking about? The code is based on two things: leverage, okay? That's the accelerator, and access, which is what gets you in the door to begin with. And access, my friends, has a lot to do, you know, the old American Express commercial that says membership has its privileges. And what we're going to
Mhm.
talk about tonight on is the your all access pass by invitation. Everyone who's here tonight was invited to be here. You learned about this through someone else who invited you. And the neat thing about this is that, again, this is access to proven, tried and true. Some of the things we're talking about are over 100 or 200 years old. Remember, this country
Yeah.
is getting ready to celebrate its 250th birthday, and we're going to
Mhm.
show you. I like to call it the financial Costco. You know, people join
Mhm.
Costco. Why? Why do they pay to go shopping? Because it's worth it. Because the
Right.
discounts, the access to better bargains, better deals, better products is worth it. You know, our good friend Wendell Phelps has a
Mhm.
BJ's, Costco,
Yeah.
and Sam's Club membership. And again, I asked them why all three, because it's worth it. Now, imagine if there was a membership that gave you access to all the financing tools and resources and experts that you need. And here's the cool part: nowhere tonight am I going to ask you to go get a PhD in finance, not even a master's, not even a bachelor's. Nowhere tonight are we going to tell you that you need a license or special training, because with this membership, you have unlimited access to CPAs, CFPs, that's certified financial planners, certified
Mhm.
public accountants, IRS enrolled agents, all the expertise that the wealthy routinely use in their financial plan. And before, it wasn't because you didn't know they exist, it wasn't because you didn't want to use those things, but you were priced out. You didn't have the access. And that's what we're
Right.
talking about here. You were
This
going to
is
say something.
excellent. Yeah, no, well, what you're actually talking about is so true. The business people have all the resources and the tools and the experts that they can afford to have at hand. A phone call away, maybe a system away, just to kind of click on a button and have access to all the resources. But what you're talking about tonight is this incredible membership that is accessible with the same tools and the same resources to be able to educate ourselves and learn more about money. It's just what I wanted to add to what you just said, Eric.
Yeah, and you're right. And not only are we talking about a one of a kind company, but we're going to talk about some one of a kind products that you
Mhm.
get access to with your MWR membership. And I'll tell you, well, I don't tell you, you'll tell everybody, you've already experienced what our one of a kind precious metals platform offers our members.
It's an amazing way to be able to see how we can start leveraging on something that it's tangible, like a real estate property when it comes to precious metals, and the power that it has to be able to have the opportunity to work with a company that's been around since 1910. I mean, it really gives us the trust to say that precious metals is a great way to invest without high risk involved. So this to me, when the company put it together and they actually did this rental agreement contracts, we got excited about it because it felt good to know actually use our precious metals, leverage from precious metals, and generate income.
And what's cool about this is that we're not talking about a paper representation of the precious metals. We're talking about the actual gold, silver, platinum, palladium. And these metals are stored in a facility, insured, protected, and as you mentioned, this is being handled by experts with many decades in the business. Why haven't you heard about this? Because it's not made available to the average person. You have to have a significant investment to be invited into that investment arena. Today, you're being invited, that with as little as $50, $60, you can start your own precious metals portfolio, along with a whole host of other investment vehicles. You see, the truth is, Fernando, that tonight we're gonna have a conversation in a subject that everyone has every single day. What's the one thing that everybody talks about, no matter what part of the country you live in, no matter what social strata you're in? What is the one conversation that seems to come up every single day?
Money.
Money, right? Everyone's talking about the price of eggs, the price of gas, the inflation, the interest rates, the economy. Is the Fed's going to lower the rates and all that stuff? This is the easiest business to talk about, because I often say, the neat thing about that is in my business, I have a team of experts that are specialized in all of these areas. Whenever I have a question, whenever I have an extra dollar to invest, I know exactly where to go, and I don't have to worry about the meter. Typically when you call your CPA and ask for advice, he's charging you by the hour, and the average CPA today can charge anywhere from $200 to $300. You go to a tax attorney, it could be $500, $600 an hour. The wealthy people know that it's worth it. Most people
Yep.
don't have the upfront money to do that. But with this platform, and back to our precious metals, I had never known that when you buy precious metals, I knew that, like real estate, it appreciated over time.
Mhm.
I knew that it had value. I knew that it was a hard asset. So I like hard assets because hard assets are also great hedges against inflation. But what I didn't know is that you could own precious metals and then lease it to people without it ever leaving the vault, and people will pay you for that lease, just like in real estate. And the returns are phenomenal. You've seen what they are right away. We already have testimonials of people who have shifted some of their retirement funds into this platform and are now earning greater than what Social Security will ever pay them, earning a substantial monthly income. And that's the beautiful thing. Most people think that you own a brick of silver, a brick of gold, that it sits there in a closet or in a safe, but it doesn't
Mhm.
generate income. And that's because you didn't have the right experts that could show you what to do. Now, I said that most people don't get involved in these investments because they don't have enough money. They don't,
Right.
first of all, they don't have the knowledge, because, beyond the appreciation that we talked about, you can ride the wave. In fact, Go look at some of the charts of what precious metals have been
Yeah.
doing over the last year. You can earn an average of 1 to 2%, not like what they pay you per year in your bank
Okay.
account, per month in passive income. You see how we can start to shift and start
Yeah.
generating that passive income, 12 to 24% annually on your precious metals portfolio. And we're going to talk about other investments as well. But this is one of the things that is exclusive to MWR members to be able to have access at very, very reasonable rates. Like I said, you can get started with as little as $50, $60.
That's it. That's it. As little as that. And you know what, Eric, now that you mentioned that, and it's limited time offer. So everybody knows about that. So we just we'll create a little bit of the awareness, limited time offer to start with 1 ounce.
That's right. And today, the 1 ounce of silver is around $50, $60. By the way, it used to be $5. And this is just to
Yeah.
give you an idea of how that is. And you don't have to understand or study the metals because we have the experts that are giving the advice. You can transform literally, like this gentleman that we were talking about today in our conversation this afternoon, simply by following the wealth plan put together by the CFPs and the experts inside of our membership that allows you at your speed, at your pace, and at your level where you want to start so that you can literally accumulate a vast portfolio, maybe hundreds of thousands to even millions of dollars in silver, while simultaneously producing a six-figure passive annual income. And you can do that. We're going to show you how to do it in 5 years or less. Money flowing in while you sleep, 1% of the efforts of a team of experts, not 100% of just your own.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
And the efforts of a precious metals too.
Yeah, yeah. And here's the cool part, most people when they hear about these things, they imagine very large investments. And perhaps you have money sitting aside ready to invest. Great. You're ahead of the average person. Don't have the funds to buy real estate, silver, gold, platinum, palladium, no problem. We have a platform for that as well. Okay. You see, the secret to building wealth in America has been all about the word we used before, leverage, right? That is where you get the speed and the ability to move faster, to be able to control a large amount of assets for a small investment or down payment. And so we provide 3 additional solutions on how to be able to get your investments going. And on the next slide, number one, income savings, right? What if we could help you from the income that you're already earning? Okay, no change, no additional, no second job required. From the income that you're already earning, what if our CPAs will consult you and show you how to have the right deductions on your W-9 forms? Could result in an instant pay increase, how to save money. In fact, they'll even review your last 3 years' taxes to see if you
Yeah.
left money on the game. So that's income savings. How about additional income? What if we could show you, whether it be via precious metals, whether it be through other investments, or maybe we'll even talk about a referral program, a profitable referral program that allows you to tell more people about what we're telling you tonight and allow you to generate additional income. And finally, leverage. The wealthy have access to funds. Those funds, a lot of times you hear people talking about other people's money or leveraged income, leveraged investments. How about business funding? Imagine a platform where you could borrow money not based on your credit score, but based on a business credit score. So think about that. You could actually have two credit profiles accessing more money. Do you see how we're talking about things that you're not going to hear from your local banker? So let's go to
Mm-mm.
solution number one on the next slide. Fernando, number one, let's talk about the income savings.
I mean, this is an amazing way to see how you can actually convert your expenses back into income. As you were talking about earlier, the four roadblocks, we can start to position ourselves in regards to our traditional spending on a day-to-day basis, shopping, right? Utilities or debt, taxes, even working and improving your credit score. All these scenarios that we're talking about is paying attention to the close details that our platform provides with our licensed experts, where you can start to activate each and one of the services that are going to put more money back into your pocket, like I did, Eric. When I came in, I owe the IRS about $45,000, right? So the person that was helping me with taxes, they actually brought it down to 30,000. But when I came into MWR, I wanted to challenge the service to see how good it was. My $30,000 was brought down to as little as $7,500. So they were able to save me 22,500. So knowing that we have a platform that really puts your financial affairs in order is amazing, because I've never seen anything as good as that testimony alone with those services. In addition to my cell phone, three cell phones, it's my granddaughter's, my wife, and mine, we were paying $135 per month. They were able to save us and brought it down to $103, in addition to our internet spectrum from $124 to $84 per month. So you can start to see how, when you start to pay attention in what is in your platform, what the experts can do for you, they're saving us a bunch of money.
And what's cool is documentation beats conversation every time. And we have documented savings across the board. You know, we have a website that's nothing but testimonials from our members whose average monthly savings is anywhere between 700 and more than $2,000. Now that's per month. You know,
Month.
you talked about a lump sum saving. What about saving on a monthly basis? As I mentioned, this is income that you're already generating, but our experts help you to keep more of the money that you make. We eliminate debt. I'm going to show you how to pay off your debts faster, more efficiently. We're going to show you how to slash the taxes. You know, 1/3 of your income generally goes to taxes. The Wall Street Journal publishes a report every year that talks about how much the average American spends on interest and finance charges. Do you know that that's now at 34.5 cents of every dollar earned goes right back out to pay interest and finance charges? When you add that to the 30% or so for your taxes, 65, 2/3 of your income is already spoken for before you can decide and have to pay your monthly utility bills, your cell phone and cable and insurances and so forth. How about if you had experts that would take a look at your monthly expenses and then make recommendations? So that's solution number one. Let's talk about solution number two. Solution number
Just a
two is
second.
additional income. And
1 second, Adam. Sorry about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Here we go.
Well, we
Okay.
have a revenue sharing program. Remember, I mentioned about referring, word of mouth. Same way when you tell somebody about a great restaurant, a great movie, a great show, a great service, a great doctor, a great chiropractor. Imagine, and the same thing about the Costco membership. When you
Mhm.
tell people about that, do any of those people give you any reward or money for sharing that recommendation? In most cases, no. But MWR believes in, the power of word of mouth, and they're willing to give you a piece of every membership that comes in to the company because of you. And when you use the services, you will tell people, and it won't
Yeah.
even seem like work. But here's the thing, the company will pay you. They'll pay you in two really interesting ways. One, they'll pay you for every time that you refer somebody into the membership. You'll get rewarded a fee for that, a referral fee. But they'll also reward you for building a team. Remember, we talked about the semi-active income, building a team
Yep.
so that you attract people who attract people into the membership. And very simply, probably one of the most generous revenue sharing programs in any industry that I've seen. MWR, when you attract the first three people, that as you build your team, the first three, they will put you on a daily pay and pay you $5 a day for having brought in a team of three people plus an outside customer. Now, that's $5 a day times the average month of 30. That's $150 a month. That may or may not move the needle for some people. For
Mhm.
me, I'm going to tell you, it didn't move the needle, but it did prove the concept. And when that first happened for me, it was very exciting. Very seldom does $5 excite me that much. But the fact of the matter is that what you see on the screen became a reality for me.
Mhm.
Now, here's the neat part about that. If you do that in your first 30 days, the company gives you an additional $150, what they call a momentum bonus. So for every member that joined, $50. For my first three team members, another $150 that month. And then the bonus of $150. Where else can you make that kind of money simply by sharing and telling? Now, in the second month, they say, listen, you don't have to go out and recruit anybody or do anything. Just help those first three people to replicate what you did and let them have the excitement of that first month, getting that first $5. And while they're celebrating their $5, you're now receiving $20 a day. And you and I both know every day, just after 5 o'clock, on this little apparatus, it goes ding, and it says that my daily residual income was deposited into my account. And by the way, you don't
Wow.
have to be 55 and older in order to start receiving residual income. You can receive it literally at any age. Now, $20 a day times 30 days is $600 a month.
Yeah.
Now we're starting to talk about the needle moving. Now you're starting to talk about somebody's car payment, maybe even a
Yeah.
substantial part of a mortgage payment. Well, the
Yeah.
company also rewards you with a $450 bonus on top of that. That if you do that within your first 60 days, helping those
Mhm.
people get their three in their first 30 days. Now I'm going to show you, you could probably get, one person a day, one person a week. You can do it one person a month. The company is saying that if you can get three in that month, they're going to reward you in the first month, 150. In the second month, 450. In the third month, if you repeat that process, they're going to bump you to $50 a day, which is $1,500. Imagine $1,500 residual income every day. Your bank account automatically increases by $50 a day or $150 a month. And the company gave you a bonus that month for $900. Total of
Wow.
$1,500 in bonuses in the first 3 months. So far, I've only personally built a team of three, but I've helped that team build their team. And that's that leverage. That's that semi-active. Okay. Because I'm not
Yep.
talking all day long to these people. I'm talking a little bit. I'm
Mhm.
helping, supporting, instructing. And so I went from, my active income to generating this semi-active income plus the residual income that is now going to start to build and build. Now, look at that little shot of the revenue sharing plan. It starts at $5 a day. Again, $20 a day, $50 a day. And that, by the way, is a very important part. In the first 90 days, you could be earning over $1,500 a month. And remember what I said, the average Social Security, when people who work their
Yeah.
entire careers and retire on a check, a measly Social Security check of about $1,600. It took 40 years to build,
Wow.
or would you rather build it in 90 days? And even if it was 90 months, it's way better than 40 years, which is 480 months. So
Wow.
here's the thing, the momentum begins to happen. People that you'd have never met begin to start telling other people and telling other people. Run your eyes down that daily list, the daily list. This happens every single day, 7 days a week. You got $100 a day. That's $3,000 a month, part-time. 200, that's $6,000 or 73,000, greater than the average salary. We have many people in our company right now at that level already. In fact, you and I both know personally a gentleman today who's at $1,500 per day. Imagine having a bank account where every day 1,500 more dollars gets deposited into your account. In case you need help with the math, 1,500 times 30 is $45,000 a month, or more than $500,000 a year. And by the way, I'm only talking one of 7 different income sources, Fernando. One of
Yeah.
7 different income sources. And what I have found is that when you start getting people over the $50 a day, they're probably earning an equal amount from the other income streams. So what you
Yeah.
see here is almost just half the picture. And so, in summary, solution number one, so we're going to save you more of the money that you're making. Solution number two is that we're going to show you how to generate substantial residual income. And it's really just a matter of how much you want to roll up your sleeves. You want to get it done
Mhm.
in 5 years? 100% possible. I should showed you how to, in 90 days, equal what Social Security will pay you after 40 years on average. And I can show you how to do it even better. And that's the neat thing. We have a community, a support system, an educational system, a back office educational system, library, all the marketing materials and everything that you need to share with anybody else. But look at this. Our opportunity combines the power of leverage, which I said was very important, with immediate income, right? Active, semi-active, and long-term residual or passive income, giving you and those people that are associated to you the ability to earn from each other's efforts, getting that leverage not only of time and money, but also of other people's efforts instead of just your own.
That's an amazing way to be able to see what solutions we have at the table. And I mean, for the amount of time that you can put in, because the thing about this is time equals money. So, going back to when I used to have a job working 72 hours per week, and I was introduced to the business world, I ended up making more part-time doing my business than full-time working my job. So it gave me the leverage to be able to, find other people like-minded. And I was able to fire my boss within a year and a half of starting my own business. Yep.
Yeah, and we have countless stories of people who couldn't afford to go to work because they could be doing much better. And by the way, on your own time, on your own schedule, from your own location. All you need is a laptop, an iPad, or a phone. This business goes and is wherever you are. Let's talk about solution number 3 right now, and that is leverage. Business funding. As I mentioned, the wealthy use banks' money to accelerate their success. Now, the access is available, and you can too. Recognized by Forbes Inc.'s 5,000, Entrepreneur Magazine, and many other publications, MWR's Fundable 360, okay, that's the name of our program, that literally levels the playing field with a minimum of $50,000 in ongoing unsecured business funding guaranteed. You follow the steps. It's basically color by the numbers. They tell you exactly what to do, where to do it, who to contact, and how to set up. If you have an existing business, you can hit the ground running. If you don't have an existing business, remember, we got CPAs on speed dial. We
Mhm.
have our business funding consultants that will show you exactly how to start, set up, and fund your own business. And here's the cool part: no personal credit risk. This is all done outside of your FICO score. No collateral to put up, no personal guarantees to be on the hook for. And the money, you can use it for whatever you decide. Now, we're going to suggest that we're going to give you this leverage that you use it for income producing assets. You know, what positive leverage is, if I could borrow money, let's say today at, average 7%, if I could borrow money at 7%, but invest it at the 12 to 24% in the precious metals example, that's a spread of 5%, or more. That's how the wealthy make money off of other people's money or the bank's money. And that's included in our portfolio of investment options. And in nowhere else will you see all of this under one roof. In fact, if you go to the next slide, this is, you'll find, to be the most complete wealth plan ever developed. We talked about income savings. We talked about additional income from multiple sources, your investments, as well as, our affiliate and referral program, from business funding. And then all of that is to create assets. You see, one of the things that I talk about, Fernando, on my radio show all the time, I don't care where you are today. You could be saying, listen, my net worth is less than zero. I owe more than what I own. I don't care whether you're in that situation, you have $2 in your wallet or $2 million in your bank account. We'll meet you. MWR will meet you where you're at and start a whole new path going forward. We'll provide you with the savings. We'll provide you with the opportunity for the income. We'll provide you with the funding and all of the expertise and guidance that you need to create that passive monthly income producing assets. Bottom line, take your bad debt, convert it into good debt. Take that good debt and more good debt to use to buy assets that provide income. And income, my friends, is the outcome that matters. And that's what's really neat. That's how you make wealth real. That's how you make wealth faster. And that's how you get it smarter.
Well, Eric, look, why do you think I like surrounding myself with people that are smarter than I am? Because you're leveraging, your efforts on experts, team partners, assets, compensation plans. And this is the beauty that we all have. I mean, it doesn't matter where you come from. The important thing is, who can I learn from so I can master, my education from others that have already succeeded. And that's what MWR offers. We are here to work for ourselves, but we are never going to be working by ourselves. And it's a beautiful thing.
Exactly right. In fact, for example, on the next slide, it says join the MWR community. We are building a community of money smart, street smart, business smart people who are all very positive minded. They are growth oriented. You're talking about, we even have a reading club for entrepreneurs. We have all sorts of trainings throughout the week on not only the products, but how to share it with other people. So here's the bottom line, okay? Because people are wondering, membership. How much is it? Okay. We have a couple of options. We have two options, in fact. I'll call option number one, which is the membership, what we call the lifestyle and legacy membership. And the membership includes everything that we talked about earlier, with no contracts, okay, no long-term commitments, no upfront setup fees or surprises and gotchas and all these other things like most people are used to. And here's the even more beautiful part about it. It includes your spouse, whether it's your domestic partner, your married spouse. It could even be a father, son, mother, daughter, two people residing at the same address for one low price, less than a cup of coffee a day, $149.97 a month. Now, remember, we showed you that the average saving. So I'm going to ask you, Fernando, this question. If I could show you a way, you give me $149.97 a month, I'm going to give you back anywhere between $700 and $2,000 a month. Would that be interesting to you?
Of course, nothing to think about. I'm getting
It's
more in
nothing to think
return.
about, right?
Yeah, that I'm
Just
giving
like
out.
in the
Yep.
Costco membership, the benefits far outweighs. This is not a cost. This is an investment in
Mhm.
building your financial future. So that's option number one. Talk a little bit about option number two.
Well, option number two now gives us the opportunity not only to have access to experts and resources to be able to put our financial affairs in order, is starting your business for an additional one-time setup fee of $100. I mean, we spend that on just about anything. Imagine what opportunity it gives you to use $100 to be able to put yourself into a system, as you alluded to all the time, Eric, is a business in a box that gives you access to tremendous leverage income opportunities.
Yep, a 100% IRS compliant. Remember, our company is backed up by CPAs, IRS enrolled agents, CFPs, literally an IRS compliant business in a box. You were W-2 yesterday. Tomorrow you wake up as an independent business owner with all of the guidance and expertise already built in. And that's why we're getting the success we have. And this is a complete wealth building access, and why this is now the fastest growing financial strategies companies in America. You may have heard of them, but you may not have heard of them. But here's the thing, everyone is going to find out about this after a while, as the numbers swell, a million people tell a million people who tell a million people, and that's how it spreads across as a grassroots movement across the country. I said before, we're in a financial shift going on right now, and in
Yeah.
every shift there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers. The
Mhm.
winners are going to be the people who know the rules of the game, or who have the experts in their court to help them to play that game better. So you don't have to know all the rules of the game. I'll bet you that there's NFL players that don't know all of the rules of football, but their coaches do. And having that staff, defensive coaches, offensive coaches, special teams coaches, not to mention the head coach, that's how they become top of the food chain players. And all they have to do is whatever their individual position requires them to do. Well, your position here, right, is to continue to make the money that you're making, keep more of it, share this experience with other people, begin to earn that semi-passive income, and then start shifting the savings and that additional income into assets that create the passive income. And before you know it, you have that, elusive financial independence made wealth real. So ask yourself these two questions. Number one, can what I'm currently doing outperform MWR's wealth plan, which, by the way, we just laid it out to you
Mhm.
bare naked without putting any of your own money at risk?
Yeah.
Can what you're currently doing do that? Can what I'm doing right now give me time freedom and flexibility and a passive income to enjoy it in 5 years or less? You see, if the answer to either one of those questions is no, and probably to both questions for most people, it's no, then the decision really is already made for you. And I
Yeah.
hope, I hope that you'll consider this and think about this. Now, I'm not asking you to make a decision tonight. What I am suggesting is that you get back with the person that invited you tonight to talk this over, ask any questions. And here's the beautiful thing. Whatever questions they can't ask, we can answer it for them. There isn't another company on the face of this planet right now that provides these services, plus a team of experts. And that's why I want to invite you. The dream life is waiting. The person who invited you here is ready to help you get started today. They thought enough about you that you would make an excellent addition to their team that they want to grow. Because every day that you delay could be costing you hundreds, and over
Yeah.
time, even thousands of dollars in lost income. There's an old Chinese proverb that says the best time to plant an oak tree was 40 years ago. Well, if you didn't
Wow.
do that, The next best time is today. And that's why,
Mhm.
as we finish this presentation and as we barrel towards the end of 2025, will 2025 be significantly different than 2024? And if the answer to that is no, again, the decision is telling you. And let me and Fernando be the first to welcome you to Make Wealth Real, where lifestyle and legacy connect.
Eric, what a conversation. I learn so much from you every time. Every time I hear the information, I always put more pieces to my puzzle. And, the reason why I love what we do is because, we get sick and tired of being played by the money game. And when you're invited to an invitation like tonight, you want to learn how to play the money game. Because we all eventually, if we don't learn, we're going to run out of time. And if we continue to be played by the money game, we're going to run out of time. And the best time to start, as you said, it's today. Tomorrow might be too late. I mean, 2026, ladies and gentlemen, started tonight. It's not starting in January 1st. It's starting
100% right.
tonight. Yep. So, Eric, thanks again. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up the microphones and cameras. If anybody has anything to say or has any questions, by all means, if you're here for the very first time, feel free to ask any questions. Now is the good time to get your questions answered. Oh, I see this champion here who opened up her camera. She was in Keys to Home Ownership last night. C. Howard.
Cool. Butch Soldier there put in an interesting, very good comment. There isn't another company on the face of this planet, sounds familiar, that provides services and a team of certified enrolled agents and CPAs that serve you like the royalty you are. You know, the truth of the matter, Fernando, and it's interesting. Do you know that if the average income in America is somewhere between $50,000 and $70,000, and let's just use the low number, $50,000 a year, you work 40 years of your life. 40 times 50,000 is $2 million flow through the average American's bank account through their lifetime. Yet
Wow.
most people retire with a savings of less than $100,000. In fact, if you're a renter, it's probably 1/10 of that. 5 to 9,000 is the published statistic, while the average homeowner, and we forgot even to mention tonight, the another program that MWR has, our platform, the keys to home ownership. Like I said
Yep.
in the very beginning of the program, I did say that if you can afford to rent, if you can afford a monthly rent payment, you could afford the same payment to go to own your own home. And
Exactly.
this company also provides the experts and the expertise and the financing to make that dream a reality as well. So back to you, Fernando.
That's why I love Keys to Home Ownership. And as a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, we have that conversation every first Tuesday of every month, correct, Eric? And every third Tuesday.
The
What
first
is that correct?
and third Tuesdays of the month, the founder of the Keys to Home Ownership program himself is on that presentation. And let me just tell you, because I know him personally, he's a 40-year veteran educator. He educates some of the top investors across the country and built this program because he saw that there was a gaping hole. The average person, when they go to the bank, they get turned down because of credit. Our program is not based on credit score. Let me repeat, it is not based on credit score. And yet, our program builds and creates great credit scores because when someone is paying rent, nobody records that anywhere. When someone is paying a mortgage, that becomes recorded and that builds credit. So it's another great feature, another great benefit of membership of MWR.
Amazing. I see
Hey,
Ron
Fernando and
Copeland here.
Eric. Yeah, I got a
Yes, sir.
statement here. You sometimes you think, well, this is in reference to the program you just spoke of, the keys to home ownership, path to home ownership, is that you make in your mind have the mindset, well, I don't have enough money to have for a down payment of something, such as a house or a car. And then you think, well, I go get another job. Well, why don't you get another business? Let that MWR help you create a better income. That's one. And also a bigger down payment so that you can get a better house and you can also be more stable. So this is another very good benefit of MWR, Make Wealth Real. You can build
That's a
your own
great point,
income.
Ron. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up because that is a great point.
Yep.
You know,
Mhm.
there is a platform or a program for just about every financial obstacle that you can think of built into this system. And I remind you, the mission of this company is to create financial independence for anybody who wants it. Okay. And I always say that there isn't a person out there, if you're coachable, if you are committed, there's nothing that stops you when you have the right program. And I hope you'll join
Exactly.
us on the same journey.
You know what, everyone, you're going to love what we have, what we do as a community. I mean, you're not working by yourself. That's a guarantee. I mean, we partner up with tremendous leaders like Coach Steve that is here tonight. As a matter of fact, he's a ring earner, $1 million residual ring earner, and also Dr. G.W. Parker. So we got the best of the best. So we got support from everyone at all times. Our platform runs every day almost. From the company standpoint of view, our CEO, Mr. Andamo Tolson, Mr. Mike Randolph. So these are the company leaders that run the engine. Plus, we team partners come together, we join forces and educate each other. And we got tremendous leaders like Eric, Lou Brown, Ron Copeland. I mean, we got serious, serious leaders that are here to help. See, they're not selfish people keeping the secret sauce formula to themselves. They're here to expose it to others, and that's what I love about what we do. I've been a happy camper for 31 years in this industry, and I've never seen anything as good as what we have here with MWR. It's the third company that I've worked with, and the last one. This company definitely is a retirement company for sure. Why? Because we got the best team partners, and we have everyone that can really stand out and bring the best out of themselves to be able to expose their ideas and become someone that you can rely on with their expertise.
So we've answered most of the questions. If you have any
Yeah.
further questions, you can put them in the chat, but I'm going to wrap it up with this one. Someone had asked if do you need to be affiliated to MWR to purchase the precious metals? And the answer is yes. That is one of the benefits of membership. But whether you're a member or whether you're a business owner in MWR, yes, you do have access. And as Fernando was saying, it's something very extraordinary. The company in this, a promotional launch period of this special program is allowing people to participate in this pool of investments with as little as a 1 ounce purchase of silver, which today is running around, $50. So imagine being able to earn. In fact, I challenge anybody, put it in the chat if you know it. Tell me anybody if you know a place where you can invest $50 and they'll pay you 12% or more on that investment. It just isn't out there. That at that investment rate, you're lucky to get 0 point nothing percent.
Yeah. Imagine just on that alone, if you have $1,000, $2,000 on a bank account, that 1 ounce can surpass the rate of return on that $1,000, $2,000, or even $3,000 in your bank account that pays 0.1% yearly. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
CC
right.
Howard just said nowhere on earth is that possible, and that's true. And I just saw one more question that says, is the reading club every day? No, it's only on Saturdays, Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So my good friend Fernando, who lives in Los Angeles, California, is up at 6:30 in the morning to be reading, and us who are lucky on the East Coast of the United States here in Florida, Well, it's a leisurely, casual 9:30 a.m. But once a week, and I'll tell you, and the invitation goes out to everybody on tonight's call that it is a very motivating. I mean, I walk out of there. I now don't want to start my Saturdays without it. That we always choose a book kind of by vote. They're always business or self-improvement books. We read a certain amount of the book. We discuss it amongst entrepreneurs, and so we get a further and deeper understanding. You know, it's cool to see other people's perspectives in it. And so the invitation is here. Get back with the person who invited you. They have access to the reading club, or if you want, I can put a number where you can text to get the reading club's information.
You had added a statement to that tonight that I hadn't heard, and it made me very happy because it cemented really what we're doing. And it's that you call the reading club for entrepreneurs. And I had never thought about it that way, but it sure did make a good way of telling me what I'm doing when I come to there.
There you go. Awesome, Ron. Hey, you know what? True. We're going to add that to it. How about that? The reading club for entrepreneurs. I love that.
That makes me happy.
I love
Thanks,
it.
Eric.
Yeah, there you go, Ron. CC, so I see your microphone open.
Oh my God. I have so many notes. There's something about tonight. Tonight. Something clicked in my head tonight. And I am,
Wow.
oh my God. I went and ran out to talk to my son. My friend was here from Atlanta, and I was like, something just happened. She was listening in. Something just happened. Lifestyle, legacy, protection.
Exactly.
And the
And a
best
clear
time to,
and a clear roadmap.
and with advisors to guide you along the way. Rue,
You're
let the
100%
door,
right.
open the door to guide you along the way. I don't have to be the expert. I got a real estate license. I got an insurance license. I got an FAA aviation license. I'm tired. I'm tired of making bad decisions. Now I'm plugged in. I don't have to be the expert. I can share my vision of what I want to do from right where I am right now. I am officially a case study for MWR.
Well,
Wow.
welcome to our community. I'm excited that today was one of those things. Sometimes it's little things, little hinges swing big doors and make big changes. But you talk about the decisions. What if you could, without having to worry about the meter costing you hundreds of dollars? And I just want to bounce this idea by my CPA or by my financial advisor. Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Do you have a better idea? All of that's now available literally at your fingertips with the MWR membership. So go out and tell somebody, because more people, if people were more financially stable, there would be less drug use, there would be less crime, there would be less divorce. We could make this country better, one
Amen.
family at a time.
Amen.
Amen. Yep.
Well, that's
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
That's all I got. I used it all up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great night. We appreciate everyone that took the time to stay till the end. See, it's not who starts, it's who finishes. And this is the audience that started with us and they finished with us. So have a great night, everyone. Microphones are open, cameras are open. If you want to wish everyone a good night, now's the time to do so. Good night, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you, guys. That was great. I enjoyed
Good
it.
night. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Good night. Great training. Great Zoom.
Sandra, good night. Yes.
Hi. Good night.
Job, guys.
Great job. Great
Great
job.
presentation.
Good
Rough
night.
play. Good night, Mary.
Great job. Great job.
Coach
Good
T.
job.
Thanks, Coach
Beautiful
T.
timing. This is
We always in the
this is a
skybox.
time.
It's always in the skybox. Phenomenal job, y'all. That was an aha moment. That was good stuff, sister.
Appreciate you, Coach C, for everything that you do for all of us.
Bless you.
You know we doing. We always covering the family. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yep. Appreciate you.
yes.
Well,
So
it's
So
thankful to
will
be
there
here.
a boost of enthusiasm.
biases?